And what I would tell you, almost the same thing, is that you cannot treat this as one big country. You need to treat this as almost 50 European countries. Texas is like Spain. New York is like Italy. And the same exact pattern that happened in Europe is happening over here. The virus moves from one country to another country, from one state to another state, and we just need to manage this well. Take care of the elderly, make sure that, obviously, we are much smarter right now. We have better medication. That's another thing I want to tell you, is that a lot of people that were going on ventilators that were dying, now we have dexamethasone, we have remdesivir, we have a lot of other medications. So we are able to stop and slow down that process. As the denominator, as you mentioned, more people will get this, or more screening is being done. That ratio gets less and less and less until hopefully in the next few months, this will be gone. And by the time we have a vaccine, chances are the majority of the people in the country will have enough antibodies that may or may not even need this.
Isn't that the irony here? Because now they're talking about possibly a fast track of September for some kind of vaccine, maybe October, maybe even before the election. We don't know for sure. But your point is this. We have anecdotal evidence and some empirical evidence that somewhere in the neighborhood of 20% of our general population, I'm not exactly sure what the more recent number is. It's going to be higher than the number I'm quoting right now, just because of the way a virus works and the natural progression of time plus the virus spreading, right? But let's stipulate that about 20% of our population has been exposed to the virus and are living and breathing to talk about it. That drives the mortality rate, by my numbers and the numbers that I'm running, well below the seasonal flu. Now, that said, as a doctor, you realize, as you just pointed out, we have to treat the United States, as you said, like it's 50 different countries, fine, but we also have to look at this from a perspective of who the patients are and who the sectors of society being affected are, right? So we know,
Correct.
doctor, that the very young, basically age 0 to 18, 20, and even on into in the 30s and up to 40, they're almost immune to this thing. And they can walk around asymptomatic, and there are virtually no deaths. But we know that the vulnerable are over the age of 70, 80 degrees with comorbidities, especially in these nursing homes. It's that simple.
Correct. So we had very few young people that died from this. And people that are watching this program, they're going to say, well, one of my neighbors was 35-year-old who died. And unfortunately, we couldn't understand why this was happening. It was a lot of vascular issues. It was a lot of clotting. It was a lot of stroke that was happening in younger guys. So study shows that with this anticoagulation, we're able to save them. But you're absolutely right. This enemy, it's no more invisible as President was calling it. Now we're dealing with a visible enemy that goes after 65 or older, people who have a lot of medical issues, nursing home. And if we can protect them, then the rest of the country, we are more than happy to take care of them. It's a lot of times they recover very quickly without a lot of issues. And we are not like the way these headlines and these mainstream medias are causing panic. We are not at that point. Look at the statistics. Only 3% of our counties in America are hot spots. And again, as I mentioned in my Twitters, there's not going to be a second wave. This is not a second wave. The world is not coming to an end.
This is
Hook it up to,
doctor, this is the initial wave, right? Because all we did was delay it, right?
Exactly right. This is the wave, Graham, that's moving from New York to Texas,
Yeah.
go to California, come to Arizona. This is the way this virus is traveling all over the country. And again, I still think people should be responsible. Hand hygiene,
Sure.
social distance, all that stuff, no big deal. But don't, we cannot afford to have another lockdown, not because it's not going to save lives. It's not going to do anything. It's not going to change. It's just delay things. Now, the first time around, because we had no idea, fine, you can argue with this. We pay the price of 40 million unemployment.
Yeah.
There's no way, like now,
No
we
way.
would accept that we'll be able to take care of this because medically we're much smarter and our PPEs, ventilators, our hospitals are in good place.
I've never bought it. And I think it was a huge mistake and I think, again, it was politically motivated. That's debatable, but I will go to the grave believing it was politically motivated, the government response to the Wuhan coronavirus. And the bottom line is, doctor, I've run the numbers over and over and over again until I'm blue in the face. But right now, you have better odds of slipping and falling and dying than you do dying from the Wuhan coronavirus. That's the general population. Dr. Samadi, thank you.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One America News on YouTube, and call your cable provider and kindly demand that One America News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.